Alright, I've been procrastinating for like 20 minutes. First I was on my phone because I got heaps of work messages, and then the cat came in and I was watching the cat for a while, and then I stopped watching the cat, drank a little bit of coffee and started on scrolling on Instagram. Yeah, so distracting. Hello friends! How are you? Welcome to another episode of the Cosplay Diaries. Today we're discussing how I used cosplay to discuss my gender and to a certain extent kind of like my sexuality and stuff as well. Little trigger warning I suppose for people who, dysphoria or things like that, especially gender dysphoria. Yeah, we're going to be bringing down the patriarchy, destroying sexism. Let's do it! The cosplay community is like one of the vastest spectrums of people cosplaying across like an even bigger spectrum of genders, which exist in both real life and fantasy. And for like a beginner cosplayer, when I was at the age of like a very long time ago, I was like super unknowing about the world, and like all of these ideas of like different genders and agender and all these kind of things just didn't really exist. So when I began cosplay, I was really programmed to believe that I was like overtly female, and that meant I could only cosplay as female looking and female presenting cosplayers. Characters. If there was a character who was male or something like that, I would have to, just because that's what it was expected of me, to gender bend the character, where you do an exaggerated design of the character by accentuating the female features over the masculine. So you'd wear more makeup, you'd have longer hair, you'd show more cleavage, shorts or skirts instead of pants, and of course you'd usually wear like high heels or like heeled boots or something to try and like alleviate the character away from masculine while still being recognizable as that character. I had a few instances of this happening as I continued to explore cosplay more. So when I cosplayed Squall, I did it with long hair, I had more form-fitting clothes, and even when I cosplayed Pain for one of the first times, I still did it in a female way, albeit I was trying to be sexy at that stage, so it was a little bit different. But I still went towards doing a female version of these characters because I was a female Pain or a female Squall, rather than just being me cosplaying Pain or me cosplaying Squall. It was only after college, and actually really, really recently, that I discovered two things. Firstly, I did not feel I identified or connected with the idea of being a woman. And secondly, I had a hugely growing cosplay list that I wanted to do, and a lot of them are males, or had outfits and elements and things that would be lost, or they'd have a lot of characteristics that would be lost by them turning to the other gender. And I didn't want to do that. I don't want to compromise the actual meaningfulness of a character by flipping them to fit me that way, because that's not how I prefer to do it. And that's how it started. I suddenly found a space in cosplay where I was super comfortable as appearing as a male, and during this kind of transition period, I was actually really put off and really the idea of dressing or kind of appearing as a super girly or a really traditionally female character made me super uncomfortable. During this time, I cosplayed Mitsuri to her first convention, and I was so incredibly uncomfortable in that cosplay that wearing it most of the day made me feel physically ill. I love the character, I love the actual costume design and all this stuff, but just feeling myself in that costume and presenting a side of myself that I didn't fully believe or understand was so uncomfortable. During the convention, nothing weird happened. I was fully accepted. I had a great time. I celebrated with my friends. But at the time, I was just I could not oh, that's really what happened. I could not really put into words how much I hated being seen and perceived as I was. All these little kind of small revelations over the years, and that convention especially, led me to a lot of self-exploration. And at around 30 years old, I finally realized I don't care for genders. I don't know what I identify as, and I don't think it really matters. If people ask, I just tell them that I'm fluid, or they, them, whatever. But frankly, it really doesn't matter, at least to me. And I think it really especially doesn't matter when it comes to cosplay. Recently, it's been super amazing and a huge, really incredible feeling to see so many new characters and things which are being designed as androgynous or genderless or fluid or non-binary. And I think, at least for me personally, because I grew up, I spent 30 years assuming that I was a woman because I had boobs. It's super validating, super vindicating, and all these things to see. Again, it is all about, I just forgot the word, representation. It is all about representation. So one of the biggest cases for me is Ashiok, the Nightmare Weaver, a genderless creature of the void that is a being of strange and terrible beauty. You know what? That's how I want to identify. I want to identify as a genderless creature of the void. As you can expect of this kind of gender identity discovery and things like this, I've found where I'm comfortable cosplaying, and I found that it has left me with a billion more cosplay plans than I originally had, especially this year. I think I've got 3 or 4 male characters just on my list this year that I would like to cosplay or make the character of. I'd love to make Aether, I'd love to make Kainari, I'd love to make Fremine. I've got Gara to wear still that I haven't worn yet, so many. Another thing that I found since, having this gender discovery and things, is that I've got some characters that I'm now falling back on. A lot of people call them comfort characters. For me, it's definitely Pain. And since post-surgery, and I cosplayed him on the weekend, Tanjiro as well has been a really, really comfortable, not just character for me to feel like I can embody to a convention if I need to go somewhere, but I feel like wearing a costume. For me, I feel comfortable wearing the costume, I feel comfortable how people perceive me wearing the costume, and that's something that's really important. It's called costume play, but it goes so much deeper than that for a lot of us. It's an expression of fandom, of love. It's just silly dress up fun. It's pushing and challenging yourself to learn new techniques and learning abilities and honing skills and using new things, and it's just it's cosplay. It's heaps of fun. It's amazing. It's amazing. Here I sit, a genderless creature of the void, and I feel like I know more about myself now, and how to make myself more comfortable, and how to perceive and things, myself, and all these kind of things. So I think it's really cool. So let me know in the description box, not the description box, the comment box, if you've been through a similar kind of journey. Was it cosplay that helped with you? Maybe it was something else. Has it even just not a gender thing? It's just cosplay helped you find, more things about yourself that you didn't know. Maybe you found out that you are really into, teaching yourself new things or challenging yourself to do new things. But let me know, is there more on this topic that you want to hear me talk about? Also a good question, if you have an idea for another Cosplay Diaries, leave it below. Otherwise, thank you so much for sitting and listening to me ramble about gender and screaming at my camera. Oh my god, I was drawing my eyebrow on today, and I was using the pencil, and I found out that as soon as I put the pencil on for the first time, bam, there's a pimple in my eyebrow. Thank you so much for sitting down and listening. Leave the video a like and subscribe if you're into it. Comment on the bottom, helps with the algorithm. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all those other places as well. Hope to talk to you next time, and thank you so much for watching. Bye! Say goodbye to Luke.